The intro of a video game has many jobs to complete. As the literal first thing you see when you turn the game on, the intro needs to invite us, ready us, and give us an appetite for more. The intro ensures that we have a smooth transition from the boring, mundane real world to the exciting, vibrant world of the game, and when the game is Persona, that workload only increases. So today we are ranking all of the Persona intros from worst to best. I'm going to rank them based on how they look and how they sound. I'm only ranking the main games and their re-releases. I'm not going to do any of the spin-offs or animes, only mainline games, and only mainline games that came out in the West, so we have about 11 to get through. Also, remember that this is subjective and just my opinion. I don't expect people to agree. If you do, then your opinion is correct. Revelations Persona is the only mainline Persona game that I don't own, and if it weren't for the subpar PlayStation Classic, I would never have gotten a chance to play through some of it. The intro is very far from what we'd know today as a Persona intro, but so is the main game in general. This is back when it was still pretty much SMT light, albeit the characters actually feel more like people and not a plot device given human form. There's no wild music, no flashy colors, but there doesn't need to be. This does a perfect job setting the tone for what's to come. Now, I give Atlus credit for doing the best with what they could. This was their first PlayStation game after all, but I mean, like, I don't know, it's just too many still images for me. But I do love the symbolism, and the scene at the end right here is very important to me. I played this version long after I finished the PSP version, and this scene, let's just say it scratched a certain itch I had. To be completely blunt with you, I'm not totally attached to this music right here. I enjoy the instruments and how well they correlate with the rest of what Meguro makes, especially with the third game, but this just isn't for me. And I'd even go as far as to say that some parts of this intro are kind of lazy. It's a lot of mirrored images and captions that flash way too fast for me to read, too many on-screen words. The one redeeming quality I will praise regarding this opening is that you can turn the PSP upside down and get a whole different perspective from the female's point of view. And compared with Persona 3 FES, which I will talk about later, that's a pretty cool way to show off the new features your game has available. Also, they do some fun stuff with a minimal color palette, but that too, we will definitely be discussing more of that. Okay, so while I'm not too keen on the first game's intro, they started to solidify a lot of the traditional elements with this one. It's got that high-stakes music and shows all the characters in their natural habitat doing their thing right before shit hits the fan. The best part of this intro is the ending though. This is the first time we'd see Personas or any Megami Tensei beings in an actual 3D space, and the transition to the title screen is cool as hell. I don't really think the music is especially memorable. It definitely has a disadvantage against any of the others with vocals, but I give Eternal Punishment a lot for its mastering of the format. I will also now take this time to bitch about never getting the PSP remake. Fuck you, Atlus! In discussing these openings with various friends, I was told that the intros of re-releases don't matter as much because most of the impact has already landed with the first version of the game. I somewhat see that logic, but it's clear that with Persona 4 Golden, Atlus definitely did. I'd say this intro right here is exactly the point at which people started to really take notice of how much the Persona series associates with its own style, and the music tags along with it perfectly. It's like pure aesthetic, and as someone who loves the color yellow in the shape of diamonds, this shit, ooh. I just feel there's a definite lack in representation of what the actual game has headed your way. It's intentional, yes, but it doesn't help fight off the stereotypes that Persona 4 is too happy and carefree of a game against its siblings. Atlus has the intro set up like a special treat for returning players. Cool, great, but I think it would have been nice to see more of what the end shows us. Okay, so this one right here has me totally split. In one corner, the music is an absolute masterpiece. It remixes Burn My Dread, the original opening from 3, as well as the song that plays during the credits, while also adding some Lotus Juice bars. What the fuck did I just say? You end up with a song overflowing with funk and sass that will always get me pumped up to get into Persona 3. But the actual intro itself is just a mash of gameplay and cutscenes, and I hate that. I can only imagine Atlus was trying to show off all the new stuff you could do in this version of the game, but if you're watching the intro, you probably already bought it and are going to experience these things yourself. It's just wasted potential. I'm gonna go back to that theory. Atlus doesn't try as hard on the intros for the re-releases because they already did it once. And if you hang out on the title screen long enough, you can watch the original, which is way better. We'll get to it. There's a lot going on in most Persona games, but in Persona 2 Innocent Sin on the PSP, there is a lot going on. We got the original Joker, we got Salvia, we got fucking Hitler. How do you condense the themes of this game into 90 seconds and get the player hyped for it? Rap music. Lotus Juice returns with a singer brand new to the series for Unbreakable Tie, and as great as it sounds, I really think the takeaway here is more so the visuals. Just in the first 15 seconds, they're doing some crazy new techniques that kind of match the trippy energy of this game. Overall, fantastic intro. I have pretty minor gripes. I think these credits stand out way too much when they pop up on screen, and also at one point they had some cheesy sound effects overlaid. Like, I am so into this, I love everything about it, but when I hear that stupid flamethrower royalty-free sound effect, ugh. Colors Flying High is amazing. It is everything that I think the enhanced port opening should embody. They brought back Lynn, kept it in the same musical style with the same instruments, and it builds into this grand chorus with just so much going on. This is an absolute banger. I do think I like it just an inch more than Wake Up, Get Up, Get Out There, but where I like it more musically, I like it less visually. Purely from an animation standpoint, I think they rely way too much on the comic book aesthetic. Also, the frame rate is a bit lower than in the originals. Plus, compared with the original, they use way too many colors, but the song is literally called Colors Flying High, so... I've mentioned before how much I love the use of symbolism in these intros, but this one, I don't know, just kind of feels too obvious, I guess. Especially once you get to this part of the game. But I will say, this scene right here where Joker lays in the diamonds next to a sleeping Akechi who is missing his glove, this right here is marvelous. And after finishing the game, I appreciate it so much more. I have a weird relationship with Wake Up, Get Up, Get Out There. When the very first gameplay trailer of Persona 5 dropped way back in 2015, I watched it so many times that I hit a point where the music got annoying and repetitive. But thankfully, when the actual game came out, it added vocals which made it refreshing and new to me. There's a lot of pertinent lyrics here, but my favorite is the last one. If you hold on, life won't change. Now, this is the peak of the series' signature style opening. They keep things mostly monochrome and red, Persona 5's flagship color, to really let the game's personality get a hold of you. The transitions are smooth, the dancing, I don't even know if we can call it dancing, but the exaggerated character movements are iconic and piece perfectly with the music. I believe I'm alone in this, but I also like that the intro represents the characters who come along further in the game with a degree of mystery. Everyone seems happy that they have more of a role in Royals opening, but I like this format more. I can't tell you how good it feels to turn on a game for the first time, have all the developer screens be totally silent, and then be assaulted by this piano chord with these drums. I love this so much. Opening up Persona 4 with a bang, the grim attitudes from 3 completely shifted with this intro, and as far as what's happening on screen, it feels so 2000s anime to me. I like that they show you the calendar on screen with the day-to-day events of what's happening in Inaba, as well as just a segment of each character's lives so you can gauge a little bit of what they're like, even though it seems the point of this is to purposefully mislead you by only showing you their exterior. Would I be stupid to call this underrated? Because I feel like a lot of people who are now playing Persona 4 for the first time are playing it after 5 and are playing Golden's PC port. That's definitely the better game, but this, oh my god. Altogether, I think the timing of Persona 3's release was perfect. The long-haired protagonist, the edgy music, the varying concepts around death were right at home with me in my emo phase, but that's not why this opening is great. It's great because it took the series in a completely different direction. For the first time, we had a singer, we had lyrics, we had pictures that didn't outright depict any event from the game, but rather thematic imagery mixed with quotes and satisfying geometric patterns. And of course, they did their magical limited color use stuff that I won't shut up about. It's impossible to ignore the music, which could stand as an auditory shadow for the game. It starts off peaceful, with just the gentle guitar relays before all the angst transforms into this oh shit drop, which lines up perfectly as the protagonist evokes. Me putting Dream of Butterfly at number 1 goes against everything I've said previously. It's one of the lazier intros using a lot of in-game cutscenes and recycled animations. But I have to put this at number 1 simply for the fact that I would not have played through the first game if this opening didn't absolutely capture me. I was so curious. What the fuck was going on? Who is this girl? Who is this boy? What are these weird cell baby things? Why do the hills have eyes? Reference not intended. Why leave so much screen time for these blocks to fall over? And I knew the only way I'd get my answer is to go to GameStop and pay the $19.99 to play this game. Yes, the music is divine and mixes both the edge of 3 and the pop of 4. Yes, the transitions to show you individual scenes from the game are so smooth to the point where you don't even know you're watching a cutscene. But also the style is super unique too. The whole thing looks like a scrapbook made of paper mache. This is the power of a good intro. It pulls people in who were previously not interested. I love this intro. I love this game. Atlas, please re-release Persona 1, you sons of bitches.